Good afternoon from the newsroom. The Taoiseach and Minister for Foreign Affairs Simon Coveney has said it would be Britain's choice whether or not it wants to leave the EU without a deal. Speaking on the BBC, he said that in the event of Britain crashing out of the EU, the Irish government would not create a security risk by putting in place border checks. But he said there would need to be checks somewhere to avoid creating a backdoor into the EU single market.
We all want to avoid a no-deal Brexit, and we have worked for 3 years to try to do that. I have done very little else in politics, apart from focus on the choice of the British people to leave the European Union and its impact on Ireland and the EU. We want to try to resolve these issues, but we won't do it on the basis of being told what must happen, because that is the only thing that can pass in the House of Commons.
The British Chancellor Philip Hammond has said he will resign next week before his expected sacking if Boris Johnson takes office as the UK's next Prime Minister on Wednesday. Mr Hammond said he could not accept a no-deal Brexit, which he understood would be a condition of serving in a cabinet led by Mr Johnson. New audio recordings have emerged of exchanges between a British Royal Navy vessel and the Iranian armed forces before the seizure of a UK-flagged tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. The British government says it's looking at a series of economic and diplomatic measures in response to the incident.
New audio recordings obtained by British maritime security firm Dryad Global have helped set the scene moments before the seizure of a British-flagged tanker on Friday. An Iranian vessel can be heard telling the Swedish-owned Stena Impero to change its course.
If you obey, you will be safe. Alter your course to 360 degrees immediately. Over.
A British Royal Navy frigate then identifies itself before telling the Stena Impero its transit must not be impaired and that the Iranians should not board the tanker.
This is a British warship Foxtrot 236. As you are conducting transit passage in a recognised international strait, under international law your passage must not be impaired, impeded, obstructed or hampered. You must not impair, impede, obstruct or hamper the passage of the MV Stena Imperio. Please confirm that you are not intending to violate international law by unlawfully attempting to board.
But moments later, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard seized the vessel. Iran says its 23 crew members must now cooperate with an investigation into an alleged crash with a fishing boat if the vessel is to be handed back. But the UK government says the tanker was seized in Omani waters in what it described as a clear contravention of international law. The British Foreign Ministry is expected to unveil its response tomorrow. Killian Sherlock, RTÉ News.
The Minister for Sport has strongly criticised the decision of the FAI President Donald Conway to proceed with re-election, saying he wanted a clean sweep at the top of the association. Shane Ross also said the changes voted on at last night's EGM were a welcome first step, but they were far from the root and branch reform required.
At an extraordinary general meeting of the FAI last night, delegates voted to amend the rules of the association to allow 78 changes to be made to the way it works following a governance review. The FAI President Donald Conway also dug in on his position and confirmed that he would defy the Sports Minister's wishes by proceeding with his bid to be re-elected President of the FAI.
Well, I'm disappointed that he's made that decision because we were very determined that we'd have a clean sweep at the top of the FAI. I think it's a pity he's done that. I don't think it's in the interest of the supporters or the fans. I want a complete and utter change at the top of the FAI because of what's been going on there. We really want to reinstate funding, but we can't do that until we're absolutely sure that taxpayers' money is being used properly and that they're fully accountable.
But at a press conference following last night's EGM, the FAI president said he hoped the changes voted on would pave the way for state funding to be restored over the next year.
I don't know if I could really say that we're going to get this autumn tranche of money from Sport Ireland, but I think the funding will come back over the months, maybe at a slower rate than previously.
The FAI said it hoped it could allay FIFA and UEFA concerns about third-party interference when its delegates come to Dublin this week ahead of Saturday's AGM. The Minister for Sport says he would like to meet the governing bodies, but today's stinging criticism of the FAI may make that a more challenging prospect. Samantha Library, RTÉ News.
Now, golfer Shane Lowry begins his final round at the Open Championship in the next hour at Royal Portrush. On 16 under par, Lowry holds a 4-shot lead over playing partner Tommy Fleetwood. The Offaly man tees off just before 10 to 2 at 1:47 to be precise, seeking to win his first major. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Bye for now.